First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakakodash. Yahweh is to this world to ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is to this world to ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'Shem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. Also need to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone. That taught me is truth. And what we're seeing right here is biblical prophecy play out. Okay, so this photo here is taken from a brother's post today, and it is Elon Musk retweeting a post from Mario Nawfal, which is a person on Twitter that is pretty much like unbiased news, 24/7 unbiased news. But Elon Musk says no more white guilt. And it says, white's guilt is dead. Gen Z is done apologizing for history they didn't write. For years, young people in the West, especially white men, have been told they are the problem, right? And what we're seeing is that shame, that shame that came upon you Edomites for what your forefathers have done, right? All the robbery, the enslaving, the rape, the wickedness that you Edomites have done to the so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans. All of that is coming back on your heads, and now your people are shameful. They realized, damn, that was actually an atrocious thing. So we're getting to a point where these Edomites, that pride is coming back, where they're saying, you know what, all that guilt, F that. They're being proud again, because, that's Esau. That's Esau in a nutshell is, they are the wicked, and the wicked can do nothing but be wicked, right? It says that from their inception, it was in them to go astray. Let's get that in Psalms chapter 58 and verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, right? So every single Edomite, whether you believe it or not, they are the wicked. And as soon as they are born, their nature is to do wickedness. Now, if you don't believe me that the Edomites are the wicked, let's go and prove that in Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people of whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. Right? So the Edomites are the border of wickedness. They are the wicked. And the Lord is angry with the wicked every single day. Right? It says that the Lord has anger against the Edomites forever. And that's why he's ultimately going to exterminate them in the kingdom of heaven. Right, genocide. After 1,000 years of slavery, there's not going to be a single Edomite left. There's not going to be a single Edomite left. Now, another scripture that talks about how they are the wicked, when you go into Isaiah chapter 34, and you read, what this is talking about. I'll start at verse 5. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Right, which Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. Now, when you go into what this is talking about, this is talking about the thermonuclear destruction of America. The land of Idumea. America is the land of these Edomites. And this is what it's talking about. This scripture here is synonymous with Revelation 6 and 12, where it talks about the heavens being rolled together as a scroll. Right, so this is a future prophecy of Babylon the Great, America. Now, the point I wanted to get is in verse 5. It says, it shall come down upon Idumea, Edom, and upon the people of my curse the judgment. Which that's the key is, who are the people of his curse? The Edomites. And it says in Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 33, the curse of Yahweh is in the house of the wicked, but he blesseth the habitation of the just. Right? So if they are, the people that have that curse, they are the wicked. And we are seeing right now that wickedness being pushed forth. Right? It says that as the ruler, so are the people. And right now, we got these Edomites ruling, which that's why you see wickedness being pushed forth worldwide. Now, let's go and deal with that point that their shame, that shame is coming upon them. In Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 10, it says, for thy violence against, I'll start at verse 9, it says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mounts of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Right, at the end of the day, all Edomites will be exterminated. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right, so for the violence against the so-called Latinos, Negroes, and Native Americans, okay, that shame is going to cover them. Okay, they are being, that shame came upon them for what they did in slavery. And because of that, because of what they did to us, genocide is going to come to that race. So, there it is, clearly, exactly what I said. Another point or another place where it says this is in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 'It's actually Isaiah 14, I believe. Let's search it up. Shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. As it goes, Habakkuk 2 and verse 16. It says, thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that's what we're seeing is that, all that glory that they had, of being, the Edomites, the most, the top people. Well, guess what? Hey, that shame has came back upon them. Okay, and it says in Psalms that the children shall complain of an ungodly father. Ecclesiasticus chapter 41 and verse 7, it says, 6, it says, the inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Right, and that's what you see right now is that these children, okay, they're complaining for what their forefathers did, because now they're being looked down upon. Now, people look at the so-called white man as, the devil that he is. They're realizing, his true nature. And they don't like that. They don't like that they're being put in the limelight and exposed for the grievous history that they have done. And some people might say, oh, but, they weren't the ones doing it. Wrong. When you go into Isaiah 14, it says, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will raise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and the remnant and the son and nephew, saith Yahweh. All right, once again, Babylon talking about America. So a future judgment. And it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Right, so what your forefathers did during the times of slavery, they're going to have to pay it in the future. And the reason why is because you were your forefather. Okay? In the reincarnation, you were the person doing that in the past. So you got to pay. And you will pay. So, and we're seeing the prophecies being fulfilled. That shameful spewing is coming upon their glory. So I'll leave that there. hopefully this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, and double honor to the other bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.